Greeting, traveler.
No time for games.
The end is coming! Who am I?
Change your mind.
You require my assistance? Adingo! We're gonna be rich.
No time for games.
Inferno! Require my assistance? Who am I?
Let me change your mind. Greeting, traveler.
Go.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another episode of I can't even speak correctly tonight. Welcome to another episode of Tavern Talk, the show where we like to make hot takes and bad takes alike. Sometimes those can be the same thing in the same episode, but regardless, we are here to bring you another fun episode talking about the upcoming matches we have for Hero Series, Legacy Series, and Pro Series. And to do that, I'm going to need some help. So in one corner, of course, I've got the master of OPs, the man who is not a doctor, but he is definitely part Fish. Say hello to Dr. Fish.
What's going on, everybody?
And in my other corner, a man who I mistakenly once called an element, but it turned out he's actually part flower. I'm still trying to figure out exactly what percentage of him is actually man. Say hello to Geranium Battle.
Hello, I'm doing very well. To answer your question, I mean, I think we all have a little bit of humanity inside us, but the battle part of us is definitely the real human essence here. Everyone likes to
But
fight,
that's a
and
separate
that's exactly
question.
what
How
we're going
much
to
of
do on
you is
THL.
geranium? But that's a separate question of how much of you is geranium, how much of you is battle.
About half, according to my name.
I believe that. Yes, that's kind of what I figured. Anywho, today is, of course, Wednesday, so you can also start to bring out the hump day jokes. I know I do that on a regular basis, both with my friends and with THL, because why the hell not? But of course, today it's going to be a very fun episode. We are now in week 3 of all of our series. And it's looking pretty interesting so far. We're going to be starting by talking about Hero Series. Hero Series is looking very tight, I feel like. We're very early on in the season. Doesn't feel like there's any standout performers right now. What do you guys think about that?
Yeah, I agree. I think that the top teams are all very close, and it just kind of gets
Yes.
close down the line. I don't have
Yeah,
the
there's
standings
so
in front
many
of me,
teams
but
in the
yeah.
There's,
middle.
I mean, if for those who haven't checked the standings recently, right now we're at a very interesting point where only one team is 2-0, and that being Team at Diamond.
Hmm.
And every other team except for even without Turt, we must still skirt is 1-1. So it is a very close race at the moment.
Yeah.
Obviously, over time, teams will start to kind of, will start to kind of branch out, and will start to the points gaps will start to increase, but we're definitely there at this point. It's hard to gauge who do we think is going to be who are going to be the most successful teams and that are really going to more or less secure their playoff spot over time. We're talking about a very similar season circumstance compared to last season. 12 teams, 11 weeks of regular season play, leading into a cutoff of the top 6.
Yeah, and even for the top team, the only 2-0 team, at Diamond is only about 10 points ahead of one of the last teams.
Yes.
It's really everyone's still in it for
Mhm.
sure, and we've seen teams that have exploded to very fast leads and then petered out immediately. So
Yeah.
Hero is such a powerful format this time.
Yeah.
100%. It is definitely going to be an interesting season for sure.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to see how that all unfolds. I'll be starting us off with the first match of the night, and that will be, of course,
Yep. Up on
Vote
screen.
of Some Confidence versus No Pros Here. This match is definitely one of the more anticipated ones, I would say. We're talking about, of course, two very successful teams within the Hero series over the past few seasons. We see that Skittles and your mum kid have already played. Skittles taking a very close 3-2 win over your mum kid. And that is definitely putting Vote of Some Confidence in a very good spot to start off the week. As for the rest of these matches, I am very excited to see how this all plays out. Vote of Some Confidence is always obviously a team coming in with a lot of talent, a very top-heavy top 3 seeds, but still having a pretty strong 4 and 5 seed to round them off.
Yeah.
I feel like I don't need to say this, but our hat in the 3 seed is one of the most absurd things I've ever seen, regardless of what his PR is. I don't care. That's just nuts. Absolutely insane. But of course, we've got the remaining 4 matches: Heat Shock versus HPWE. I feel like that match is going to be probably closer than people give credit for. I know Heatshock is a very, very incredible player and very talented. He's shown a very strong mastery of the game. But I feel like PWE has only continued to improve during his time to where I feel like he can keep up with even some of the best one seeds. So I wouldn't count him out just yet. Ridiculous At versus Posca. I mean, Posca's a really strong 3 seed, and Arhat is definitely beatable. But I don't know. Part of me wonders if this is going to be the week that Arhat turns things around and finally gets his first win of the Hero season. Then we've got Stalfix versus Snake Fods. That's gonna. I feel like very close. I don't really know much about Stalfix, but he's also 2-0 right now compared to Snake Fods 0-2. So I can't say I'm gonna give the easy, prediction for Snake Fods here. And then finally, of course, Jim Flows versus the one and only Chewbacca. Both are two very well known, very well established 5 seeds. The 4 and the 5 seed matches I feel like could really go either way easily. I'm gonna give the slightest of edges to Vote of Some Confidence though, because it is Sage. It is I do think Heatshock and Arhat. I would give probably slight edges to them. I feel like they've got a very good shot here.
Yeah, I can see it playing out like that. I know Shu's gonna want to have a better week than what happened to him last week. Because Poison Rogue is ridiculous. If you guys didn't know that at times. Yeah. Kinda. I played Shu last week and Poison Rogue did Poison Rogue things 3 games in a row. I felt bad. I kind of did. I mean, winning is great, but it would have been nice to have a really good competitive series. But and Jim Philos is fantastic. Both of these guys are really good players. Snake versus Stalfix. I want to see Snake get back on track and get a win here. But Stalfix with the hot playing. I think he could easily take this week, and hopefully Arhat turns it around. I really would like to see that. And Heatshock versus Pee-wee is pretty much right down the line, in my opinion. So I really like this match.
Yeah.
Skittles versus Rum Kid, I think, was actually the deciding match here. Just because they are both extremely good players. We saw them go, I believe, to 5 games last season.
That was the final match of the last season.
Yes, it was. Yes.
Ugh.
Yes.
And my only question, I mean, here we see the Priest was banned, so your mum kid was prepared to not let Priest win every single game. Yeah.
Well, Priest is a bit different now. So.
Yes, it definitely is. But yeah, being that Agent PWE is on my team, I feel like I know a little bit more about him. I know that he doesn't like it if I root against him. So that's why Heatshock is going to win. Agent PWE is washed. We're going to see Heatshock go up 3-0 against Agent PWE's 1-2. Sad.
Agent and Neji had a really good series last week.
For Hero, you mean?
Yes.
For those who don't know, I believe Neji is also 0-2.
Neji's 0-2. Yeah, he's had a lot of close 5. He's had 2 close 5-game sets. One with Lotus, one with Agent. So, no. But he's plugging along in other series. So, are we ready to move on to our next match?
I think so.
Yeah, I know you want to move on from talking bad about Neji, so
no.
Now...
he's killing it in Legacy. He's killing it in Legacy and Wild. But bad, unfortunate luck in Hero and Pro. So yeah, we'll move on to our next match. We've got Uranium's pick.
Speaking of extraordinary hero performances, as in not sort of usual, we see Ron Mexico at the top of Bowler Jam's 3 versus anyone playing Maestro. Ron Mexico absolutely kills it in Hero. He's been killing it all last season. He's killing it this season. He's 2-0. Below him, we got Donde, the Big Ted, Onfall, and Quaz rounding out the team versus anyone playing Maestro, which has Vino Spumoni, Jammies, KFW, Yfair, and Nomad Farmer. Anyone playing Maestro has it's a Bowmaster team. It's got to include some wild players on there, like Nomad Farmer. Also has Vino Spumoni, who proved himself last season, but
Yeah.
sort of has to prove himself again by just facing the absolute titans and the running hot Ron Mexico. Being that it is that way, and being that we already have a reported score of the Big Ted 3-2 over KSW, which I thought KSW was going to win. I think Bowler Jams 0-3 is going to take this week. It saddens me to say that Donde will win, but yeah, I do think that Ron Mexico will take it, and I think Onfall will be the other win to ensure that week goes Bowler's way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There's an old tradition of doing the Quaz pick, and that is literally my pick for the week. Everybody but Quaz.
Everybody but Quaz wins. Yep.
Yeah.
That is
although
tradition.
the close match is like Donde versus Jammies is a close match, and the
that
one seed
needs
match
to be on stream, man.
Well,
that needs to be on stream with the cams, with everything.
Hold on, it is gonna be on stream.
Oh.
Yeah. I have it. Yeah,
okay.
I have it. I got all the.
I honestly forgot to check the matches.
This weekend is stacked with matches. Yeah, we'll get to that.
The cams need to be on for that one.
Though.
Oh,
I'm sure they. I'm sure they will. But Donde and Jammies being legacy teammates, it's very interesting when you have to face someone that you have to face either someone's team that you're going against, or someone that you're actually on a team with. Very interesting. Yeah. I think that's a close one. I will say Donde is 2-0 in Legacy.
You're talking about two real life friends, you know, from outside of THL.
Oh, for sure.
That's a no brainer.
It's gonna be really it's gonna be a really good match. I mean, we've talked about we've actually talked about Bowler Jams all 3 weeks. I picked their matches. I'm really excited for this team because like this week, Big Ted avoiding the 0-3 like could be potentially like season turning, because sometimes when you hit that 0-3, you don't always, because Anfall started 0-3 last season and just won every other week, but that doesn't always happen. I'm happy for Ted to get that he got that win, and I don't know. I think anyone playing Maestro can definitely put up a fight. I don't expect the points to be far apart by the end of it, but I do think that the Bowler Jams will take the week overall.
Yeah, I think Hero is definitely very momentum based, which is why I think Donde's downward momentum is going to start now. Jams is going to win this week. They're going to both be 2-1, and it's all downhill from there for Donde.
Ouch!
Dang, we're just piling on him.
Harsh.
Oof. I have to support my fellow disc golf enthusiast and player, so I do like to root for Donde.
Yeah, same.
So this is we have a really good slate of hero matches. It's a shame that we can't cover all of them. But we have one more match left. There will be a theme to my picks, but it does not actually start with this match. I have picked Dad Legend versus Tampam Surf Slam. Battle of two 1-1 teams. They're both pretty close in the standings. And there's a lot of really, really good matchups in this one. The PR differences are all within 50 for every single match. Besides the 5 seed, which is Risen is only like 70 PR, but Wash is 2. But Wash is 2-0, and Wash had a slightly bit of an unfortunate season last season. I know he did beat me last season, I'm pretty sure.
We just struggled last season. It was definitely a slow burn where like we were starting to get some momentum and then we lost it. And
I know
I was struggling. Nobody was really having an easy time.
Yeah.
This season we're off to a slightly better start, but last week was heartbreaking because, you know, DeSharmo got his second straight loss. And I know he's like gonna turn it around eventually.
Oh yeah, he's such a great player.
I got swept by nails, unfortunately, and who
The
was
Ultimate
Sun
the other
looks
person,
like
and Sunday lost as well.
Sunday
So it
had
was
a
like
rough
we
one.
just
Yeah,
yeah,
those weeks
it was
happen.
rough.
Yeah,
For me, the problem was like my match against Nails. I know I planned for it properly, but I just got high rolled by Questlock 3 games in a row. It was pretty
I
sad.
mean, yeah, Questlock is a good deck, for sure. Um, this is these
Some of the games
matchups
were
are
close, but it was rough.
yeah, these matchups
Now I'm
are
like,
very
I got to take it out
interesting.
on Starlight.
It's so the matchups we have Isocles versus Desharmo, battle of former Brushy Tuna teammates. As Desharmo is no longer, I don't think he's playing this, or Isocles isn't playing. Starlax versus
I think
JR.
yeah, no. Ducharmo's still playing
Yeah,
on that team for pro.
yeah. Corridon versus Sunday. Yellow Dart versus Osmonaut, and Risen versus Wash in the Wind.
Wait, Fish. Wait a second. Who is this Korodon you speak of? I thought, aren't you talking about
Korodad?
Cora Dad?
Korodad, yes.
Hmm.
Yeah, which that match will also be on stream. Korodad versus Sunday. That'll be on stream this
Nice.
weekend. Dart versus Oz
I'm
is
here
very
for it.
Dart versus Oz is very interesting. Like two THL veterans gonna slug it out. And Isocles versus Ducharmo, like down the line, there's like all good matches here. I love to see Starlax doing well to start the season. Because like easily if Starlax and all these other players from the 2 to 5 start struggling, they can easily just keep swapping seeds up, and that I feel like that is kind of difficult for players when they keep switching out seeds. To have some players in stable seeds is usually pretty nice. But I don't know, I haven't really experienced having to like move back and forth between seeds. But you're right. I think it can kind of work or sometimes be a struggle. But it looks like Dad Legend, like kind of their team, kind of their records show that they're like kind of that 1-1 team. Same with your team, with 3 players at 1-1. You have Ducharmo and Wash with opposite records. So I expect this to be a real brawl out, and I don't really know
We've
if I
won
could
50% of our matches so far.
exactly.
Basically.
Yeah, I think Desharmo's gonna break his slump. I think you're gonna get your revenge. I think Sunday's gonna win, and then I would say probably. I mean, I'll give it to Dart as much as I like both players. And Risen versus Wash is gonna be super close. That might decide whether like for me that would decide 3-2 or a 4-1. But we'll see. I'm sure both teams are gonna prepare well and be ready to go.
Yeah.
That's the idea, at least.
Mm-hmm.
I actually think this could very well be a 5-match Tam Surf Slam body slam on Dad Legend here. Sorry, I accidentally said Bad Legend. It could be 4-1. We could see we could see JR be the one loss here.
I knew
But I
it.
honestly
Yeah,
think that,
that's what I would guess too.
I think the Tampams is actually favored here. Even just the, I mean, Isocles on Druid versus Desharmo on Paladin. I just favor Desharmo a little bit here already, and he's gonna break his 0-2 streak at some point, and I think it could be this week.
For sure.
I like that.
Yeah, so I guess we've already kind of given our thoughts on the Hero series as a whole. So if you want to catch those, you go back to the beginning of this section. We're gonna move on now to our Legacy series, our closed deckless conquest format series. We're gonna start. This is a full cross conference week, so we're gonna start with a match between the Red Conference and the Gold Conference.
there are going to be 2 weeks like this. A reminder to everybody.
Yes, there will
Yeah.
be. Which avoids bye weeks, which is nice.
Yes, it does.
Or actually a short season,
So,
but
yeah.
anyways. Yeah, go ahead with JR with your match.
Yeah, so my match is Seek Guidance versus Golden Wisps, aka an old fan favorite of THL, fan favorite team of THL's, now with a completely new coat of paint, new captain, etc. As we discussed last week, Golden Wisps was the team run by Alec Dawson, aka one of the members of the Hearthstone, one of the members of the Hearthstone design team. So it's very nice to see that team be brought back. But this is, of course, we've got Seek Guidance, which is sort of the NPH team for the season.
Yeah.
But it's an interesting. It looks you almost wouldn't guess that based upon the players, because like I want to say only half of the team is pretty recognizable as like NPH, because you've got Magnificent and Y the Hunter at the top, 2 seeds, but they're not really known for playing in for NPH. And then of course Skittles and Snake Fods are. Joltik I know has played for NPH before, but on and off mostly. And then Golden Wisps, of course, made up of MPV, captained by MPV, made up of Always Lethal, Mick, Stev, and Roadrunner. These guys are so far one of the only 2-0 teams that are that we have in Legacy at the moment. Both these teams are definitely looking pretty strong, though. I honestly, this one's a pretty hard one to call. I feel like the top 2 seeds are basically like some big matches we would expect from Pro Series.
Yes.
Like pretty hype, pretty exciting. And I feel like we've got Skittles versus Stev, Snake Vods versus MPV. These could be like some really exciting matches. Joltik versus Roadrunner. I will probably give the slightest of edges to Seek Guidance since I know a little bit more about them. But Golden Wisps, I mean, they're 2-0 for good reason. So I would say let's see what they've got. Let's see if they can continue that momentum that they clearly have on their side for the moment.
Yeah, and that momentum is very, very strong momentum. They just recently faced my team, which means that they faced Always Lethal just beat Agent PWE to get to his 2-0, and Nick just beat Nails to get to his 2-0. And Stev used to be in the 4 seed, has just moved up to the 3 seed here. So, I mean, I think the momentum that Always Lethal and Nick are both carrying are kind of hard to beat here. I think Y the Hunter, the momentum is swinging the other way a little bit right now. So I really feel like Magnificent is very, very good. Is worth it in the 1 seed. But against Always Lethal, I'm just not seeing it. So I think it's going to be Always Lethal, and Mick, and then the bottom 3 seeds I think go Seek Guidance's way, and it's a come from behind.
Yeah, seems like a really good match to me. I think Skittles versus Stev is very interesting. Skittles is like, he's 400 PR in Legacy, but he's like 500 PR in Hero. There's a few players that have that where they're much higher in one series than another. Skittles is probably more known as a LHS player, just because of that. But I know he's good in Legacy as well. Snake Falls versus MPV. Yeah, that's gonna be a good one. Snake Falls, MPV's coming off of a loss to our co-host Duranium Battle on stream. It was quite the series. Snake Falls coming off of a win himself, so I'm curious if he could just keep the momentum going. And then Jolt C versus Roadrunner, 2 players who seem pretty evenly matched, at least in my opinion.
Joltsy did very, very well last season.
He
so that's why I'm
did.
putting more weight on him.
Gotcha. Yeah, and Roadrunner didn't play. Roadrunner did not play Legacy last season at all.
No, he did not.
So, yeah, it's kind of difficult. I mean, you go kind of with like with what I think Roadrunner's put the work in and has been learning with the Washu players. So I also like to give him a little bit of extra props for that. He has some good people teaching him, even on this team completely. 1 and 2 matchups are very, very close. I think Mick has an advantage just in momentum, but who knows? If the classes line up right, it could go the Hunter's way for sure. But I like this match overall. And I'm interested to see if it's a 3-0 Golden Wisp or a 2-1 Seek Guidance.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I think they're both 2-1 after this week, but it's very close.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah, that's
Close.
it's like, especially early on in the season, you can't be certain of how any match is going to go. It's always both teams could easily win, very possible.
Yeah. So next match, if you want to do the transition.
I was gonna quickly
Mm-hmm.
introduce it.
Sure.
The next match is between two teams with very similar points. It is a gold team versus a silver team now instead of a red team. It is Wallet Warriors versus Flame Pimps. Wallet Warriors is Nice Jewish Owls. He is a warrior stan, so it's his warrior team. Nice Jewish Owl, Dragon Ninja, Tavern M, Sam Sees Ghosts, and Mojo Powell versus Flame Pimps, which has Taco Cat in one, Cyan Sheepies from Pro, Goose, Boolean, and Deedle.tf1. So just going by like the quality of these players, I mean, Nice Jewish Owl was in the 4 at the start of last season and is already in the 1 seed for Legacy, and I think it is deserved after his play last season.
For sure.
He only had 1 match loss all of last season, and he has 1 match loss already. So we're going to see if that if his last season sort of stays true. But Warriors not in as good of a position as it was last season as well. Meanwhile, in the 2, I mean, Cyan Sheepies from Pro is definitely just not doing as well as Sheepies is doing in Pro. We'll talk about Sheepies, I think, a bit later. Tavern M versus Goose. I just side with Goose here. I know a bit more about Tavern M. I don't know much, but I mean, I think Goose just has the pedigree to win this match. And then I think Dr. Fish knows a bit about Sam Sees Ghosts.
Yeah, he smacked me. He smacked me last week 3-1. Yeah, he's a good player. And I know Boolean. I have never played, and I haven't played Boolean, so I have no experience against him. But I know they're both good players.
Yeah, I think these bottom 2, Sam Sees Ghosts and Mojo Power, go Wallet Warriors way, and that is the end of it. The top of it, though, I think it decides on Tavern M versus Goose.
Gotcha. First off, 1 seed Owl Pog. I'm excited to see Milo playing the 1. Dragon Ninja. So, Milo and Ron had a really close series. And I think that Dragon Ninja and Neji had even a closer series, potentially. I didn't get to see all the replays for the 10 games that was played between them. But I know Mojo and Saku that was another 5 games. I think every game went 5 last week for Wallet Warriors besides me and Sam. So yeah, I'm excited to see what if the Wallet Warriors can continue after a very strong week.
They definitely have they're definitely a team that I feel like could easily be underestimated, since there's not a ton of big names on here, and especially seeing Nice Jewish Owl, who's a really strong player, but at the same time, some people might look and go, hey, this guy doesn't have a very high PR for 1 seed. I mean, we'll see, because the last time we saw him on a team like this with this kind of PR makeup was with a Noyo team, and I forget if they just made playoffs
They
or
made
they just
playoffs.
missed it. Like
Oh,
they barely made it though.
They got in, yeah, but yeah.
They had a rough run though to get to that point. Like they started off really strong, and then their momentum seemed to peter out. So it'll be interesting to see how this season plays out for them a bit differently.
Mm-hmm.
For Nice Jewish Owl and friends.
Yeah. It's also interesting. They seem to either win together or lose together, because week 1 they almost all lost except for Mojo Power, and then week 2 they basically all won except for Dragon Ninja.
Yeah.
So
sounds about right.
True, yeah. I mean, Mojo's sitting in the 5. Like, just for the record, the last time Mojo Powell played the 5 seed in Legacy, he won MVP. So him sitting in the 5 is a cheat code. I had him in the 4. He played for Orcs last season. He was our 4 seed. And he did like pretty well, all things considered. There's we're playing against like some really good 4 seeds in our conference, but
he pulled his weight for sure.
Yeah, he definitely did. Like, I just echo the sentiments of the other team. We have one more match left to go. I picked Red Conference versus Silver Conference. I picked F2L White versus the Hot Zilfs. And for sure, this is going to be a good one. F2L White off to a white hot start this season. With Venus Pomoni. So the matchups, we have Venus Pomoni versus Jammies. We have Rabobson versus Donde. We have Myanodon versus the Big Ted. Slod versus Anfall, and Totino's Pizza versus Jimfalo. So first off, Myanodon being in the 3 seed is quite startling. Because he was their 1 seed for F2L White for the F2L Legacy team for the past like 2 seasons. But he's struggling right now. But having really good players like Rabobson and Venus Bomoni to pick him up and get the wins, and Slot in the 4 seed, he's an insane wild player who kind of slipped in right before. He kind of got in like a season or 2 before the changes to PR calculations. And then Totino's
right.
And Totino's returning. Last time he was on a team, I believe he was on a Noyo, back in the Skolaman season. We didn't exactly play our match because didn't really have any meaning. So, we just ended up not playing it. And Jim Fullo, like seeing the returning champs, the interesting is they have tied both weeks. I kind of picked this match because Hot Zilfs have tied both weeks. It's interesting. We have 2-0. We have 3 players at 2-0, 2 players at 0-2. But they've somehow managed to tie both weeks, one with 14 points, one with 13 points, or something like that. It's something very similar to that.
14 and 12.
14 and 12. Yeah, because I guess you get a point. I guess you get like some point for tying, I guess. I don't exactly.
Yeah, because it's right. It's a bonus point for a tie.
Okay, cool.
Instead of 3.
Gotcha. So yeah, I think I would be very surprised if there was a tie this week. I think I think the top 2 matches are extremely interesting. Seeing Rabobson almost getting up to that 500 PR mark again is really cool to see. I'd like to see I really want to see Myanodon and Big Ted kind of both break their 0-2, and one of them will this week. Slod versus Anfall. Anfall's on that 0-2. He's kind of starting 0-2. Rough start for him. I expect a close match. They're both extremely good players. Totino's versus Jim. I like to side with Jim Fullos because he's such a good player. He's been playing for so long in THL, and it's good to see him. He's above 50 PR. I think he's been sitting in the 50 PRs for quite a few seasons now, just going back and forth with with winning and losing and everything, you tend to kind of stay in that same area. But he's above 50 now, so that's really great to see. I could see this kind of going either way. I think maybe the fact that Slot's playing Anfall might give F2L White an edge in the end, but I might be wrong.
I could see it.
Like if it just continues with momentum, but otherwise, but I don't even. It's difficult to like gauge how much momentum actually matters because it all depends on it all depends on like classes that get brought and like the specific way that a player kind of is approaching the season. Yeah.
This is a very interesting match for another reason that you didn't bring up, and that is that Jammies and Vino Spumoni. I mean, we've seen a lot of these names before: Vino Spumoni, Jammies, Donde, the Big Ted, Anfal. We saw
they're all playing each
Uh,
other in Hero.
Yeah.
They're all in one match. Bowling Jams 03 versus anyone playing Maestra.
Yeah.
Because Jammies, the 2 seed on anyone playing Maestra, is playing against his 1 seed,
Yeah.
Vino Spumoni. That's going to be a little bit interesting in the
Yeah.
in the locker room
He's
talks.
playing against he's playing against his 2 seed he's playing against his 1 it's 1 versus 2 from that team, but then it's 1 versus 2 for him personally against Donde. So this is cool. There's a lot of fun implications with this match.
Wait, so Jammies is playing against Vino Spumoni in another series?
Yeah, no, they're on the same Hero team.
Yeah.
Right, Jammies and Donde.
Jammies and Donde are playing against each other in Hero.
Oh,
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think I see.
I see.
It's
a fun scenario.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I get it. That got a little confusing for a second. Yeah. Because right. Because Jammies and Vino are on the same Hero team, and then Jammies and Donde are on the same Legacy. Oh my God, that is a hilarious scenario.
It really is.
Holy
it
crap!
is a tangled mess, and to untangle this tangled mess, I'm just going to go ahead and give my prediction. This is a tie.
Nice, I like it. We're going for the tie. we're going for the 3 straight ties because F2L White had a few ties last season.
Yeah.
Let's go for it. I like it.
I mean, interesting. Oh man, I don't know with this one. I mean,
yeah.
Like Rabobson versus Donde is ridiculously close. Big Ted versus Myanodon, I think, is really close. Anvil versus Slad. I mean, I'd probably give the edge to Anvil because he's one of the best 4 seeds in THL, in my opinion. And then Totinos versus Gymphalos. That is also pretty close, actually. Oh, man. I'm going to say... So if Hot Zilfs are... They've got 2 ties. Will they get a 3rd tie? That would be pretty hilarious, actually. But, yeah, I'm going to, just for the fun, because I could really see this going either way, I'm going to just give the sliced of edges to Hot Zilfs and say they win 3-2.
Yeah.
No idea which matches they win and which ones they lose, but...
Yeah, I think... Oh, gosh. I don't want to underestimate Vino, but I also don't want to overestimate... I don't want to underestimate him or Jammies. I will pick Jammies. I'll say Rebob. I'll say Myanodon, Anfal, Gymphalos. So I guess it goes Hot Zilf slightly. I want to see Anfal get out of the O2. Although Slod, like he and I had a wild match last season. Wild is his format. He smoked me, smoked me in 3-0. And seeing him do so well in the standard series as well makes me think he can keep up. So yeah, we'll see how this goes. We are going to move into our commercial break right now. Then we'll do one other thing before we move back into Pro Series.
Okay, thank you guys so much for tuning in to Tavern Talk. If you're enjoying our show, make sure you check out Around the Saloon and the Maniacal Tournament series on Mondays and Ronnie Tuesday on Heart Center. Not this week, but next week on something you'll never guess. Are you still asking where's my content? Well, we stream THL matches each night from Thursday to Sunday, starting at 8 or 9 p.m. Eastern. All of your match schedules will be determined by player cast availability. Sound effects may include knowledge and fun. But wait, that's not all. We also have incredible matches on waiting afternoons and school. Present time today's are subject to availability. Speaking of which, please consider subscribing to our Twitch channel. This subscription enables the THL team to cover the various costs for operating a website and improve the quality of our streams and content to our viewers. And see someone asking in chat, what is Twitch Prime? That is what that is. Well, if you have Amazon Prime Gaming, you can sub to the channel for free. So hit that hard button and keep the notifications on to make sure you catch our stream team streams live. We appreciate each and every one of you, especially our reviews. Check out THL's other social media points of interest. Our website is at teamheartlegends.com. Follow us on Twitter at THL_HS. Join us in the Discord, Team Heart Legends, THL PW Podcast, wherever podcasts are sold. And we have something for Fish to announce.
Gonna just make sure I'm unmuted. All right, I am unmuted. Yeah, so I wanted to do this because Heart Center didn't get to do this last night because there was no Heart Center. But every week we have Players of the Week, and I'm not gonna read the write-ups that like they do on Heart Center. I just kind of want to announce the players that got Players of the Week this season. Or at least this week, I should say. So I will go ahead and read them out. For Hero Series, some guy named Dr. Fish got it. Yes, that's me. I swear that's not why that's why I wanted to do this, because I wanted to actually give credit to the other two players. In Legacy Series, Wild 9 got the nod for Player of the Week, and in Pro Series, Pascoa, I know the story behind this. That his team was down at 12-9 heading into his match, where he had to full sweep or either team would tire or they would lose to Bread Ape, and he full swept CMAC. So congrats to Pascoa, congrats to Wild 9, and I guess myself as well, because I had a very I had a match that was very, very interesting to say the least. So yeah. That's the Players of the Week for this week, or for week 2, I should say. And now we will be moving back into the matches. We have Pro Series. We're gonna start over in the in the Black Conference, I believe, for this one.
All right then. So as we move on to Pro, the first match we'll be talking about will be Faction versus No Pros Here, or NPH. This is obviously both teams are we're pretty familiar with them. No Pros Here is unfortunately struggling in Pro this season so far. They are 0-2, but they've got themselves a pretty strong roster, so I think they could definitely bring it back. They've got, of course, Your Mum Kid, Agent PWE, pretty familiar faces, and then they've got Kaz 1291, Xkume, and Lolnenko to round things out. Unfortunately, the bottom two, the 4 and 5 seeds, are struggling to get wins, so hopefully this is a week where they turn that around. And then, of course, we got Faction, which definitely has at least some of the same players. Flying Kraken, Unlimited Power, and Fogey 8 have returned, with newcomers Unholy Murloc and Classy Thug. These guys are 1-1. Everybody's got at least one win under their belt. This week could be a big turning point for them. They could really use another win, put everybody back, moving forward, in their records. But I mean, No Pros Here is not to be slept on. They're still a very strong team, and if honestly, I think if either Xkume or Lolnenko turn things around this week, I feel like No Pros Here has a good shot of winning. Excuse me. But yeah, I think this is a very close one. Hard to pick a favorite.
Yeah.
What do you guys think?
Yeah. It's very unusual for me to see Agent PWE as a 2 seed.
Yeah.
I think he's gonna pick up the pace here, and I don't know, man. I think Fogey 8 is way too good in the 3. right? I mean, he's in the 3. It's not that he's good because he's in the 3. He's just an insanely good player.
Yeah.
Um, I feel like it's gonna go Faction's way again. And I'm sorry, XQMA, I'm sorry, Lolnenko, but No Pursuer is going 0-3. I think you guys might too.
I could see that happening. I think XQMA just had just rough start to the season. Very good player. But Unholy Murloc, I've seen him playing at some pretty high legend ranks on ladder. So he knows his stuff and he has experience. I would guess he has experience with Conquest format. For sure. Bogey 8, Unlimited Power, and Flying Kraken are kind of like the staples of Faction for the players. They've swapped other roster. They've had other roster members come in and out through the 3 seasons they've been together. So yeah, Kraken versus your Mumket's gonna be a very interesting match. I think that it'll go to Kraken. I think Agent will go to 2-1 and will win over Unlimited Power. Fogey 8 takes his match, and I'll give it to Classy Thug over Nenko, but say XQMA gets the win over Unholy Murloc. So it's 3-2 for me, and I pick in Faction's going to barely take it. All right. If we're ready to move on, we've got what I would argue, despite the records and the points, this is one of my matches of the week.
Yeah, this is so Popeye's spicy chicken sandwich versus Sheepies. I mentioned Science Sheepies before. In fact, a lot of these players are playing cross conference or cross series in Sheepies. But Popeye's spicy chicken sandwich is somehow down 0-2, and that is not like them at all. Sheepies being at 2-0 does make sense. I mean, these guys are both Final Fours very, very regularly. And we see already, Popeye's spicy chicken sandwich, Wet Goose. Somehow Wet Goose was 0-2. Now it makes more sense. He's 1-2. Always lethal though, being 0-2. I mean, one of them had to lose. And I do think that Wet Goose is insanely good. On a Zabe versus Micahs, also every single one of these players is so good. And I just don't expect Honest Zabe to be 0-2, so I'm gonna give it to him. Mick versus Swanky Pants. I mean, Mick has just been tearing it up in all the other series. But I do think Swanky Pants has the edge here. Lambie series, the GM versus Y the Hunter. I think Y the Hunter's extra time not being a GM will give a slight edge here, and Lambie series will go down at 1-2. And then Myanodon versus Cyan Sheepies is, oh man, why do I have to pick between these two? I think that Wet Goose taking it. I think Honest Zabe taking it, and I think the other 3 might just go for Sheepies.
Yeah, and that could happen. We will be seeing Mick versus Swanky Pants tomorrow night, though, as our second match. So that's going to be exciting. It's always nice when you get to see Pro Series matches on stream. I think I think I agree with the Zabe. I think Zabe will get the win. I think I mean not seeing classes and not having a lineup to go by, it's very tough to judge. I think Mick takes it. It'll be close. So Swanky Pants is also is a name change. They used to be 11 and Me, so they have plenty of experience. So I wouldn't count them out at all. Lambie series versus Y the Hunter. Lambie series being a GM, I do know that yes, there is a putting time into GM versus getting ready for THL. I think that'll be an extremely good match, and I'll say Lambie series takes it, and then Cheyenne in the 1 in that top match. So we'll get a 3-2 for Popeyes with the middle 3 for me. I want to see them get to 1 and 2.
Yeah, I just think that this is not. There's no slacking weeks. It's all
Yeah.
heavy hitters
Mm-hmm.
for Popeyes.
For sure. And I actually picked,
I feel like they're just inevitably going to bring it back. I feel like they are going to turn it around. They're going to find a way. Their consistency has shown that this is not a team that just simply has an off season. They find a way.
mm-hmm.
They really do.
For sure. So I mean, I guess I inadvertently picked a 4-1. I didn't. Oh well, I forgot that Goose had already won because I didn't talk about that match. Yeah, Popeyes. I like Popeyes this week.
To catch up.
They do. I think they will over weeks. They're a very, very good team. We've got one more match to talk about. And oh boy, look at me picking 2 F2L matches in a week. We've got
Bomb.
Who would have guessed the guy who plays for an F2L team picking F2L matches? But I genuinely am interested in the match. It's F2L versus Poem Locked and Loaded. Poem Locked and Loaded came off their bye last week, and we got to watch Molahu's match against Lefty on stream, and that was interesting. Very, very strong, very interesting and good match. And this week, the matchups, we have QSNS versus Point Block. We've got Marty B versus Molahu. We've got Robobson versus Voidham, and we've got Sunday versus Makaya Time. We've got Itachi versus Celio. I'm going to say it's pronounced that. I actually don't know. If anyone in chat does know, please let me know. But yeah, I mean, seeing F2L Pro get off to a strong start in their first week, I believe they had the bye last week. So
both these teams have clearly had the bye already because they're facing each other and they're both only played one match so far.
Yeah, so I think Poem Lock and Loaded had it the first week and F2L had it last week. So let's see how F2L does off the bye week. Yes, indeed, Sunday telling me and confirming that they were on the bye last week. I'm super interested in this match. I don't know that much about Poem Locked and Loaded. I know Makaya Time. This is their first season in THL, but I've seen them around. They have, they're familiar with the Conquest format, so they know how things go, and I think they're gonna be a valuable addition to their team. But that being said, Rebob on a tear this season in all series so far. But I'm not sure how he did in EU Wild last week, but in the standard series, he's killing it. QSNS versus Point Mock and Marty V versus Molahu. I will say Marty B wins, and I will I don't know that much about QSNS. I might be really biased towards F2L this week. Ooh, because I like a lot of the matchups we're seeing here. I think it'll go to, I'll say Poemlock, Marty B, Rebob. Sunday versus Makai is super close, and I gotta root for Itachi. I always gotta root for Itachi. So I think it's gonna go F2L's way this week. Gee, what a surprise.
Yeah. I think I'm also gonna say, I mean, F2L I think is gonna win this week off their bye.
Same.
Yeah. Like, I really wish I knew more about some of the players on Poem Locked and Loaded. I'm sure there are people who do know about them, like in general. It's difficult when you don't know that much about certain teams, and everything. I just really was really interested to see how these teams do, because I think that this could be a really big momentum week for F2L if they take this, and if they win and they take it the rest of the way, like they're going to be contending for that top 4 spot in Pink Conference. This is a pretty strong built roster. So,
Yeah, it is always interesting with early buy teams.
Yeah,
They
it
always
really
look like
is.
they're much farther behind, but a 19-point week is very, very good. So
Yeah,
um, I think they're
it's
going to keep carrying that up.
yeah. When you look at the pro standings for both conferences, I always look. I'm looking at the points per week every week, and then also looking at the AOS, the average opponent's strength, just to see like, okay, like how many teams, like how has their season kind of gone for their record. um, yeah. Also to Reverb, yeah, congrats on 2-0 in pro, like super OP. It's great to see. It's great to see your team. I know last week your team took a close loss. It looked like to Sheepies. So you're fighting with the best and you're keeping up. So keep it going. We are surprisingly very much earlier than usual at the end of our show.
Yes, we are.
So we do have some stuff going on this weekend. We have tons of matches. Starting tomorrow, we have 8 p.m. Legacy Series Geranium Battle, who is right here below me. He is playing against Astral Pog.
Wait, he's been there the whole time?
Yeah, we got Legacy Series Geranium Battle versus
Okay,
Astral Frog, Astral Pog, Agent ELE, and the Golden Light Showers. I think that's the name. I think I got it right.
Agent P Elemental and the
Elemental
Light Showers. Yeah.
Light Showers. Gotcha. And then Astral Frog of Dirty Mike and the boys. And then 9 p.m. Eastern following that up, Pro Series Mick versus Swanky Pants. Casters, it's not 100% confirmed on who's going to be casting, but it'll be some combo of myself, Nice Jewish Owl, and Mojo Powell for that. And Friday night fights, we've got Pro Series Black Conference action to start. Ufrik of Bread Ape versus Glee of Swagoy. 9 p.m. Eastern, we will have we have a Battlegrounds lobby. For one of the two lobbies, they'll be their lobby A. And then 10 p.m. Eastern, we go to Legacy Series, Cyan Sheepies of Flame Pimps versus Dragoon Ninja of Wallet Warriors. That'll be something like, that'll be Donde, Corridon, Saku, some combination of those people. Salty Saturday, tons of matches. We got 3 starting at 8 p.m. Heroes Series matches, all of them. Saku of Mast versus Judo Chop of Snakes on a Campaign. And then next up after that, 9 p.m., Korodad of Dad Legend versus Sunday of Tampam Surf Slam, followed by Donde of Bowler Jams 03 versus Jammies of anyone playing Maestra ? That'll be Geranium Battle, and Wild 9 is looking for another caster, so if you are available for that, you're not in the content server, hit up somebody who is and let them know you want to cast like Lotus Knight, Saku, myself, and we can get you in. Schoolstone, I do have a Saturday match I was told about, but I don't know the time or the participants. But that will be a Hero Series match. The Lotus did let me know that during the beginning, at the beginning of the show. Sunday we have a trifecta of matches, all Legacy Series matches. So we have Legacy Series Risen of Chaos Theory versus myself, Dr. Fish of Amberflight Gaming. 4 p.m. following that, we've got Saku of Amberflight Gaming versus Kodomora of Chaos Theory. So very likely that match is going to be decided by those last 2 matches being played, unless there's someone playing later than us, and I don't really know. Then 5 p.m. Legacy Series Trito 2 of Redfish versus your Mumkid of Dad Legend. Not sure who the casters are. Will be Lotus Knight and one of his Schoolstone casters. Finally, Sunday Showdown, 8 p.m. Hero Series, Alien Santa of Mast versus Geranium Battle of Snakes on a Campaign. We can see Geranium Battle twice this weekend playing his matches. At 9 p.m. Eastern, we have BG's. We have the second part of the BG's lobby. And I don't believe that there is a 10 p.m. match scheduled yet. Indeed, there is not, and so for the hero match, it'll be Myanna, Dawn, and Dollar Bills, very likely, or Myanna, Dawn, and Saku, and then BG's will be Steffi and Saku. So there we go. That's all the matches going on for THL this weekend. If you want to be on, stream, there are still a couple slots left for the weekend. It's pretty full, pretty full. And yeah, and I should mention tomorrow night, 6 p.m. Eastern. Tomorrow, I guess that's still early evening. We're gonna have Wild and Out again. It's gonna be Marty B. I believe it's gonna be Marty B, myself, and the Rotted Zombie this week. So I'm very excited to be going on that show. That is, of course.
Yeah, we'll definitely...
I'm actually. I'm very excited to see this episode of Wild and Out because there's been a lot of action in Wild that we just haven't been able to hear about.
Yeah, it started last week. It's great. It's kind of like the old Wild and Out format, just like from like a few seasons ago. Just like they cover, this
right before
we did our
Tavern Talk
before the Tavern
covering all the series.
Before they split into the shows into kind of being overhauling the content into our current format. We had Wild and Out as the Wild Show, which was on Mondays originally, but now we have it on Thursdays in the afternoon, or in the late afternoon, early evening, and then we'll go right from there, essentially right into the matches like an hour later. So very exciting. I have a full day ahead of me tomorrow.
That makes two of us, buddy.
Yeah.
And I think Thursday is.
Yeah.
I think Thursday is absolutely packed with great content.
It really is.
I said Popeyes versus Sheepies was the pro match to watch this week, and that's happening. Mick versus Swanky Pants on Thursday Night Throwdown right after Wild and Out.
Yeah.
I think Thursday is going to be very sick if you can come watch some of that.
Yeah, I agree. All right. I think that wraps it up for the week, everybody. So thank you. So thank you so much for watching our show. On behalf of JR and Geranium, we always appreciate everybody coming out. We appreciate the banter from chat. We appreciate the people who just like to watch and lurk. We appreciate everybody. Thank you guys for coming along for this ride. We've got another great week in the books, but another great week to come next week. So we will be back same time, same place next week. And as always, have a great night, everybody, and stay safe.
Take care, everybody.
Greeting, traveler.
Thank you.